The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner seemingly uttering profanities about white girls.
But we have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, fucking white girl.
In a startling attack on Caitlin Clark, Brittney Griner called her a trash white girl, shocking the WNBA.
Brittney Griner appeared to call Caitlin Clark trash and effing white girl,
And causing a significant backlash, explosive speculations regarding Grier's identity are now reviving, and supporters are calling for an inquiry.
Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
If you agree with Caitlin Clark, please leave a comment now. CC for love and support, 100%.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
Yeah, she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
The whole WNBA was rocked by what Brittney Griner did to Caitlin Clark, even though the tension had been growing for weeks. Griner fouled out after a furious game, and as she left the court, cameras captured her mouthing the words, "trash effing white girl."
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash white girl. Trash. Blanking white girl is what she says.
In the direction of Caitlin Clark, the video went viral almost immediately, and rightfully so. It was a racially offensive, purposefully offensive, and poisonous remark. Even analysts and previous sportsmen were in awe. Skip Biss called it out right away, stating that it would have ended a player's career if a white player had shouted "people, black girl" on national television.
Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras. That would be an immediate suspension, if not a career ender for said white girl.
However, when Griner stated it, there was initially no formal league response, no fine, and no punishment. This egregious double standard infuriated supporters.
But it is completely possible that fucking white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
Not to mention that Caitlin Clark has been subjected to this type of harassment since day one. She has been regularly targeted, elbowed, and shoved. Not for foul play, but just for being amazing and white.
She has been abused repeatedly. We have shown you videos, just getting elbowed, getting crushed, inbound passes where they ram into her, just absolutely abused, and there clearly is a racial element to it.
Griner's outburst was only the most recent development in an unsettling pattern. This wasn't spontaneous trash talk, rather it was hateful, planned, and recorded. Earlier this year, the WNBA started a campaign against hatred.
The WNBA has come out numerous times. There's no place for hate. There's no place for racism.
Fans are now seeking answers because of the hush surrounding Caitlin Clark's racial attacks. They are curious as to why the league chose to ignore it and why Brittney Griner is being shielded when it is obvious that she went too far. Let's change. The script now. Consider for a moment what Brittney Griner might have said if Caitlin Clark had spoken first.
The league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl.
Without a doubt, there would have been widespread indignation and breaking news headlines if she had called Griner a garbage black girl live on air. Condemnation throughout the league and an instant suspension.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on. across the league also.
To put it plainly, Skip Bis-A white player's comment of that nature would be seen as a career-ending one. However, the WNBA pretends nothing happened when Griner, a seasoned player and well-known personality, spits out a racial slur like trash-funning white girl at Clark.
Brittney Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlin Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash-ass white girls.
Fans, lip readers, and even sports media personalities confirmed what they saw, but no action was taken. This double standard is destroying the WNBA from the inside out. Commentators rushed to make excuses, some even twisting her words to say she may have said whack call instead.
If you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe.
When a player is accused of racism, the same league that hurried to look into Indiana fans following unsubstantiated charges of racism against Angel Reese suddenly looks the other way.
The noise that's coming.
I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against, because yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans. I think it's okay to do that.
Aimed at Caitlin Clark as well. Remember that this is not the first time that Clark has been singled out. Opposition players have openly ridiculed, insulted, and even attacked her. And graphic that ridiculed Clark as a coward fleeing the fade was uploaded by Angel Reese, a colloquial expression meaning a brutal beating.
Image that she reposted. And the implication is, well, what it says at the top is white, this is how they say girl, G-Y, white gal, G-Y-A-L, running from the fade, like as if Caitlin Clark is basically a
Other players have shoved her, smacked her in the face, and applauded as like it were a sport to injure Clark. Despite this, Clark never lashes out, throws elbows, or retaliates. Instead, she calmly plays her game and continues to set records, all the while enduring a degree of hatred that no rookie has ever encountered.
Caitlin Clark got roughed up repeatedly by defenders throughout her rookie year last year. It was attempted bullying, trying to break her spirit, intimidate her, put her in her place, get even with her for all the attention she was getting.
Nevertheless, Clark is supposed to remain silent throughout these occurrences. It is expected of her to be quiet and to continuously recognize her alleged privilege. In the meantime, the league defends the players who attack her, and certain media outlets praise them. That is injustice, not equity. This is precisely what is turning away spectators, despite the WNBA's claims that it wants to expand the sport.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But also, Dan, why isn't the Indiana Fever apologizing to their own fan base for putting them through that, for going through those types of accusations?
They witness a league that only upholds its ideals when it's convenient, not when it matters, and they watch as Caitlin Clark is harassed, ridiculed, and racially attacked by neutral fans, many of whom are new to the league.
He stated in part, obviously, the league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl on the bench in anger.
Therefore, consider why Caitlin Clark is held to a higher standard than everyone else, and why it is okay to attack a white athlete racially, but a total scandal. Fans can clearly perceive the double standard if the opposite had occurred. Furthermore, the league will continue to lose credibility until it is resolved, regardless of how many hateful slogans they put on the hardwood. As if the startling verbal assault on Caitlin Clark wasn't enough, there's now another exciting plot point.
WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is the closest thing that they have to quality play. The Caitlin Clark effect is very real. She is the most valuable player in the league.
One that has been subtly developing online for years has finally come back to life in full force following Griner's most recent outburst. Additionally, it revolves on a very awkward but increasingly inevitable query. Does Brittney Griner have a manly physique?
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss. Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
To be clear, we are not promoting conspiracy theories here, but this piece has received millions of views and gone popular once more. Not because people are hostile, but rather because they are beginning to see connections. This time, it goes beyond dodgy comment sections or whispers on Reddit. Real footage from Griner's own Instagram postings and what many are describing as the league's flagrant lack of openness are fueling it. Let's begin with the most stunning piece of evidence, a topless video footage of Griner that was uploaded to her own verified Instagram story years ago, showing her chest looking utterly masculine and flat.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male, and
without any indications of the surgical scars that would normally result from a double mastectomy. This is the section that has fans wondering about everything. The fact that this video remained up for more than 100 weeks indicates that Instagram's algorithm could have identified Griner's chest as male rather than female. Instagram utilizes both AI and human review to detect nudity breaches, and a female torso would have been reported and removed. But that's not all. Griner's vocal bone structure has been questioned by some analysts, physical domination on the court, and Adam's apple. Every attribute is far more typical of biological guys. Even casual spectators couldn't help but wonder, is this really a fair matchup? After witnessing her forcefully throw her arm out and make contact with a smaller, lighter opponent while elbowing Caitlin Clark during a screen. When an anonymous viral post asserted that Griner was a biological man who was compelled to live as a female by his mother's decision rather than being transgender at all, speculation became even more intense. The article claims that Griner, who was reared as a woman on paper, joined girls' teams and has just kept up the pretense as an adult in order to be eligible for the WNBA.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going.
It claims that Griner behaves and dresses like a guy in every other aspect of his life, even getting married, and that Griner would never have succeeded as a male athlete if it weren't for this gender assertion. Now, is this hypothesis extreme? Is it unquestionably unsettling? However, this is the reality. The true issue is that despite it being discussed everywhere, the WNBA has done nothing to address it. In the modern world, where each player's gender identification is respected, the league must also uphold transparency, fairness, and competitive balance. People are now beginning to feel as though that equilibrium has been upset, particularly when a biologically female athlete like Caitlin Clark is the one suffering. The league has an obligation to look into any possibility that Brittney Griner is using a biological edge in her competition, whether it be through testosterone levels, bone structure, or another element. This is especially true for female athletes like Clark, who are obviously being targeted, because this is more than simply trash talk or on-court drama if it is even partially accurate. It concerns women's sports integrity.
Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming, hollering. This is disruptive. It's not allowing us to play the game. Every time we play her, there's this commotion. Like this loud rumbling from the stands. Turns out it's people, thousands of them, just sitting there watching on purpose. It's very disruptive.
Remember that when Griner was detained in Russia for possessing cannabis, she was already at the epicenter of a global scandal. In order to regain her, the Biden administration ultimately traded Viktor Bout, a notorious Russian arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death.
WNBA crew are very fond of virtue signaling, but even when it comes to Brittney's exchange for like the Merchant of Death, which is insane, by the way, But had that been just like a straight white girl, my guess is that straight white girl would probably still be rotting in a Russian prison.
The same arms dealer whose weapons are currently being deployed in crisis areas in the Middle East. That is the extent of Griner's privilege and security.
Brittney Griner was the one that went to Russia with some weed and got stuck in jail, and then the Obama administration traded this guy. Putin's merchant of death is back in the arms business, this time selling to the Houthis.
Fans may wonder why someone with this level of controversy and potential dishonesty is still receiving full protection from the league, while Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent who has made the WNBA's headlines for the first time in decades, is being ignored, slurred, and elbowed by the very league she is assisting in saving. It's absurd, and it contributes to the desire for answers. Fairness, integrity, and the safety of actual women in women's sports are more important considerations than whether Brittney Griner is a guy, a woman, or anything in between.
Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity. Now, some people may speculate, okay, well, is Brittney trans?
It wouldn't merely be outrageous if this male athlete were playing in the WNBA under false pretenses. It would rank as the decade's largest sports scam. Additionally, Caitlin Clark may be among its most notable victims. When Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, she changed the rules of the game.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the GOAT. She signed my jersey. So happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day ever.
The jerseys, the number 22, the various styles, whether it's a t-shirt with 22, whether it's an Iowa jersey, whether it's a Fever jersey, a throwback, I mean, whatever. The amount of people in yellow 22 apparel is stunning.
Additionally, she has, however, rather than being honored, she has been singled out, tormented, and now racially attacked by a player the league appears to be protecting. The fans are aware of the WNBA leadership's deafening silence.
I love watching her score and just everything about her.
They went the extra mile just to watch her play here.
This is great news for women's basketball, period.
That's nice.
And she was shooting the shit out of it.
Of course she was.
Right, so she was shooting the shit out of it. And
she's the face of the league.
Agreed.
She's the face of the league. Agreed.
Just have nothing but great things to say about who she is as a person. She's so welcoming and so warm as an individual that she can have a conversation with anybody. She's cut from the same cloth as me in that regard. You know what? Us Midwesterners, we tend to just, accept everybody with open arms. She was so kind to my family and everyone in the suite when she came to KC. So huge fans of Caitlin Clark.
It is a mad situation just all around when it comes to Caitlin Clark, because it's very clear that she is way stronger.
Meanwhile, there are still no answers, no transparency, and no justice for the ladies who are genuinely following the rules, while the speculations of Brittney Griner's identity continue to gain traction. This is a turning point for women's sports, not merely a controversy, because if the league doesn't stand up for its brightest star, then the fans must. Therefore, please leave a comment below right now if you support Caitlin Clark and think she should be given respect, safety, and an equal opportunity. CC 100% declared to the world that you are aware of what is taking place and that you will not remain silent.